Hello everyone, this is Ross with Market Traders Daily, and this is today's video analysis for January 10, 2020. Today we're looking at the NZDUSD, the New Zealand dollar, versus the US dollar for today's trade analysis. Today I want to discuss trends because trends can be a little bit tricky depending on what the market's doing. In this vantage point here on the daily time frame, we really see three different trend lines I've drawn here. The longest trend, which is the black trend line. The market's pretty well away from it. It's not near the black trend line, but that's the longest trend that we see here on the this vantage point for the New Zealand dollar. Then you have the blue trend line, a little bit of a shorter uptrend line that we see there. And really specifically what I mean by drawing these trend lines, or what I'm doing by drawing these trend lines, is I'm drawing them in a manner where it doesn't cut through candles. We could take a trend line where it, going from the bottom here where it could cut through candles like this, but I don't want to cut through candles when I'm drawing the trend line. I want to represent the lows within that trend. And if you draw it here where it touches these lows, you can see we're coming in pretty close to approaching that. And then of course we have the black trend line that's falling from our current resistance high, the highest high on the chart. We have a little bit of a short-term downtrend. So the question is today, should we sell based on the shorter trend line, or should we buy based on the longer blue trend line? Not really the longer black trend line, but the shorter blue one. Should we sell it or should we buy it in accordance with the blue trend line? That's kind of the tougher question to answer, but I think it could come down to sometimes in the same week you're trading in both directions. You could sell it part of the week and then buy it part of the week because it reaches the trend line. It also comes down to risk versus reward. Which has the better risk reward? Is selling a better opportunity with better risk reward today, or is buying a better opportunity with better risk reward today? So let's zoom it in a little bit. And you can see what the market's been doing. We've been falling along this black trend line for the past couple of days, and we've actually had an opportunity to go short here on the New Zealand dollar a couple of times this week, especially as it tackled the yellow shaded area and broke underneath the 66.50 level, pushing down now underneath the orange shaded level. And I think the pattern that we're seeing here, and we've highlighted it in the trade room a couple of times this week with the blue boxes, is a falling pattern. And our risk reward right now is actually better in favor of selling than buying along the black trend line. And that'll make more sense when we get down to the 4 hour. But now I might consider a longer opportunity, a buy opportunity as it reaches the blue shaded area and touches the blue trend line. That might be something with lower risk, higher reward to do if it were down here. Let's go ahead and take it on down to the 4 hour time frame. So as we get down here again, when we're talking about risk reward, we want to look for the best opportunity with the smallest stop loss. And so as it's been falling within the black trend, or the downward trend line, stops would be above resistance highs. So if you think about it in the fall, I'm going to change that line to red. Underneath the green zone, your stop would be underneath that, or just above the green zone. So your stop would be better as it rises into the green zone. Same thing here with the yellow zone. Your stop would be better if you put it above the yellow zone. And so in this case, today, below the orange zone, as long as it's below that orange zone, our stop loss would go underneath, or sorry, above it, and we target the lower level. Now, what about buying? How would your stop loss pan out if you were buying the longer term blue trend line? Well, I think right now your stop loss would be under the blue zone. So if this is your stop loss for buying at the blue trend line, at the blue zone, then you really want it to fall down into that blue zone before you would buy it. Again, that really gives you a better risk reward for selling than buying. So as you look at the blue trend line and you look at the falling black trend line, today's risk reward option is better for selling than it is for buying, as long as it's underneath that orange zone. Once it reaches the blue zone, you have a decision to make. If you are selling from the yellow or the green or the orange zone, once it makes it to the blue zone as a target for profit, you have a decision. Do you close it, or do you look for it to break underneath there and go lower? So I think the better option right now, even though we have two different trends, the shorter black downtrend and the longer blue uptrend, the better option for risk reward today is selling the orange zone, targeting the blue zone. Of course, if it breaks the blue zone, further profit would be seen. If you're a buyer and considering a buy in the long-term uptrend, you'd be waiting for it to reach the blue zone, blue trend line, or you're looking for it to break back above the black line, the orange zone, before you would buy it. So as you boil all that down, risk reward, trend, I think selling's a better option today under the orange zone, targeting the blue zone or lower. If you're looking for a buy scenario, you're waiting for it to reach the blue zone or break above the orange zone before you would buy it. Now, all of that, the caveat today, of course, is at 8:30 a.m. Eastern U.S. time. We have quite a bit of news, non-farm payrolls out of the U.S., Canadian employment data. But as far as the trade setup, trading with the trend, which, again, there's two different trends, the rising and the falling trend. You're looking for the best risk-reward setup, and I think that should give you your best options for the day on the New Zealand dollar.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.